This is our Vinyasa flow, just a set of blocks for today. And we're actually going to start in easy pose, having a seat on the floor. You're also welcome to have a seat on one or two of the blocks if you'd like to open up your hips a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and place one under my hips. You can cross your legs, crisscross applesauce, right over left, left over right. You can come into butterfly pose, anything that's comfortable for you in a seated position. Let's bring one hand to our heart, one hand to our belly, starting here with breath, maybe closing your eyes. Deep inhales, filling your belly, ribs, and lungs. Hold it at the top. Full exhale, lungs, ribs, and belly. Deep inhale, expanding your lungs in all dimensions. Maybe lifting your head higher towards the ceiling. Hold it when you get to the top. Deep exhale through your mouth. Continue with that breath, this time breathing in and out through your nose. Deep inhale, filling your belly, ribs, and lungs. Feeling your lips. Deep exhale through your nose, building heat within your body. Belly rise with your inhale. Belly falls with your exhale. Continue here with your breath for a few more inhales and exhales. Your next full exhale, letting out every bit of air through your nose. Release your hands by your side, pinkies in, thumbs out. Really bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. Come back through center, left ear, left shoulder. Come back through center one more time on each side. Actively reaching your fingertips towards the floor. If they're touching, maybe to them towards the center. Coming back through center, reach your arms up high overhead, maybe open your eyes. Exhale, bend your elbows, lift your gaze. Spread your fingertips wide. Deep inhale, gaze comes forward, arms overhead. Exhale, pull your elbows down, lift your gaze. One more time, just like this. Inhale, gaze comes forward, arms overhead. Exhale, cactus the elbows, lift your gaze up. Inhale to rise. With your gaze forward, draw your elbows wide behind your head. From here, we're actually going to bring our hands to our thighs. Let's do some cat and cows here. So from your hands on your thighs, gaze up, draw your chest forward, pull your elbows back. As you exhale, round your spine, bringing your hands toward your knees. Deep inhale, seated cow, arch your spine. And round your spine forward on the exhale, reaching your hands away from your midline. Deep inhale one more time through, gaze up. And then round your spine. Come back through center. Let's go ahead and set that block off to the side for having a seat on one. You'll see why in just a moment. From here, now let's draw our elbows wide. From this position, let's open our chest, lift our gaze, draw your elbows in, round your spine. Lift to open, round your spine. Stack your shoulders over your hips, elbows are wide. From here, tap your right elbow towards your right knee, rise up, left elbow towards left knee, rise up. One more time each side, right elbow to right knee. Gently coming back through center, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Come back through center, rotate over your right shoulder. Elbows remain wide, come back through center. Right elbow over towards the left, come back through center. One more time, each side, left elbow, gentle rotation over to the right. Come back to center. Draw that right elbow, rotation to the left. Come back through center. Release your hands behind you. Stack your left knee on top of your right. Lift your hips up, coming to a side extension. Maybe reach your left arm forward. Left arm is long, right knee down. Gently come back to your seated position of choice. You can cross your legs in any direction, maybe switching which leg is on top. Elbows wide. Repeat the same thing one more time, opposite side. From here, draw. Whoop. Let's come back to the cat and cow. Round your spine. Draw your elbows together. Lift, open your chest up, squeeze your shoulder blades. Draw your elbows together. Inhale, lengthen. Come back through center. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Draw your left elbow down towards your left knee. Gently rise up through center, stacking your shoulders. Right elbow towards right knee. Rise up through center. Draw your right elbow across, lean over to the left side. Come back through center. Left elbow. Come back through center. Release your hands down behind your hips. Stack your right knee on top of your left. Lift your hips up. Reach your right arm, right leg long in opposite direction. Feel that full length in your side body. Gently come back down. We're going to find our tabletop position. Do some wrist stretches here. Maybe tuck your toes, patter out your feet if you'd like. You can press your hips forwards and back, gently rocking on those wrists. Coming back, stacking your shoulders over your wrist. Draw your fingertips towards the outer edge of your mat. You're welcome to hold it here. If you'd like, you can move from side to side. Gently come back through the center. Gently rotate your fingertips towards your knees or at any degree, or keeping them towards the outer edges. Same options here. You can rock forwards and backwards. You can draw your body side to side, warming up those wrists today. Gently come back to the center. Bring your fingertips back to the top of your mat. Starting with the left hand, flip your left palm up towards the ceiling, right palm down towards the floor. You're welcome to hold it here. Maybe rocking forwards and backwards. Maybe shifting side to side. Seeing what feels good to you today on your left side. Come back to center. Flip your left palm down towards the floor. Right palm up towards the ceiling. You're welcome to hold it here. If you'd like to rock forwards and backwards, maybe side to side. All right, come back through center. Flip your right palm down towards the floor. Walk your hands up, palm print forward. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up, coming to our first downward facing dog today. Pedal out your heels. Gaze remains down towards your toes. Letting your neck hang nice and loose. Gently lifting and lowering one or both heels at the same time. Lowering both heels down towards the floor. Gently walk your right foot to meet your right hand. Left foot to meet your left hand. Coming into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen, half lift, hands to shins or to blocks. Lengthen the crown of your head toward the top of your mat, maybe past your mat. Release down, coming back to that forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows here, coming into ragdoll with a soft bend in your knees. Maybe swaying from one side to the next. Grounding through your feet here. Holding and breathing. From here, gently release your hands down towards the floor, coming back to that forward fold. We're going to roll up, sweep your arms up high overhead. From here, it's going to turn and face you. Extend your left leg back behind your right, coming to a very small curtsy. Right hand grabs left wrist, side bend over to the right side. Feeling that deep stretch all on the left side body. Hold it for the exhale. Inhale as you rise back up, squaring out your hips. Step your right foot behind your left, small curtsy. Left hand grabs right wrist, side bend over to the left side. Feeling that stretch all along the right side body. Gently come back through center, squaring out your hips. From here, we're going to come into chair. So sink your hips back, arms reach forward. We're going to pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Hold the hips low. Sweep your right arm back and forward. Left arm, sweep it back and forward. One more time each side. Right arm back and forward. Left arm. This time, draw that right arm forward. Reach your left foot high, flexing your left toes. Cactus your elbows. Open your chest. Open your heart. Opening up your left hip. Throw everything back through center. Arms come up high overhead. We're going to sweep our arm back as we step that left foot back, coming into low crescent, hinging forward. Hips are in one line. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. Hold in high crescent. Pivot your left toes down, opening up to warrior 2. Really stretching your fingertips long in opposite directions. Relax your shoulders down from your ears. Straighten your right leg coming into big star. From here, flip your right toes. Square out your hips. Coming into goddess. Cactus your elbows. Keep your chest lifted. Inhale, rise back up, big star. Pivot your right toes. Back facing the front of your mat. Bend into your right knee. We're going to come into reverse warrior. Tuck your left hand behind your back. Keep that right leg nice and bent. Left leg stays straight. We're going to straighten that front right leg as we pivot our arms forward. Use that block if you'd like. Coming in triangle. Bump your hips back. Stack your left shoulder over the right. Lengthening long. Left arm reaches high. Right arm down towards the floor. Maybe on a block. Maintain both legs being straight. We're going to reverse a triangle. Tuck your left hand behind your back or down your left leg. Maybe coming into archer. Flex your right toes. Holding here. If you have your right toes, let's go ahead and release them back down to the floor. We're going to find our warrior 2 right where we started. Bend into that right knee, tee out your arms. Come into goddess. From here, come into side low lunge. So deep bend into that left knee. You can use blocks here in front. You can point, flex, or just relax your right toes. You can keep your hands at heart center. Maybe come into a bind. Your choice. All right, now is when the fun begins. We're going to pivot. I'm just going to scoot down so my face isn't in this pampas grass. All right, bum marks in a side low lunge. We're going to pivot, bringing our hands, framing our left foot. So your right leg is back, left knee is forward. From here, keep your left hand on the floor. Reach your right arm high. Reach your right arm high. Circle out your wrist. You can release your right knee on the floor if you'd like, or keep it hovering. Circle out your shoulder forwards and backwards. All right. Holding here and breathing. If you'd like, you can drop your right hip down. Reach your right arm towards your right toes. Coming back to a lengthened side low lunge. Rise back up. Square out your hips. We're going to step that right foot forward, coming back to our chair. Now repeat the same thing on the other side. Pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Start with the left arm. Reach your left arm back. And forward. Right arm. And forward. One more time on each side. Left arm. Now to draw that right arm forward. Reach your right knee high, coming to single leg mountain. Flex your right toes. Find your breath here. Draw your right hip open. Cactus your arms. Maybe challenge your balance. Lift your gaze. You got this. Hold it for the exhale. Inhale, reach your arms up high overhead. Draw that right knee forward. We're gonna sweep our arms back, hinging forward, stepping our right leg back. Coming into low crescent. Use your abs here. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Hips are in one line. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. All right, open up. Warrior two, pivot your right toes. Very nice. Bend deep into that left knee. Find that deep bend. All right, come into big star, straighten that left leg. Flip your left toes. This time let's bring our hands to heart center, coming into star goddess. Maybe move the hips side to side. Chest is lifted here. Shoulders pulled back. Come back. Find your big star. All right, flip your left toes. If you pivoted your right, go ahead and flip them back as well. We're going to reverse our word. Bend into that left knee. Draw your right hand behind your back or down your right leg. High five that wall behind you with your left hand. As you rise up, straighten that left leg. Tick-tock your hips forward. Left arm down. Right arm up, triangle. Left hand can be on the floor, maybe hovering, maybe on a block. Actively stretching your right arm up towards the ceiling. Hold it here for a breath. Top right shoulder is stacked over your left. Maybe rotate that right shoulder a little bit more. Beautiful. From here, we're going to reverse our triangle. Maintain the straightness in those legs. Reach your right arm back, left arm high. If you like, come into archer. Flex your left toes. Beautiful. Holding here and breathing. All right, we're going to bend into that left knee. Coming back to where we started. Lower your left heel. Lower your left toes if you had them lifted. Bend into that left knee. Tee out the arms. And back to warrior two. Straighten that front left leg. Lift your arms high. Goddess pose. We're going to bend into that right knee, coming into side low lunge. Skadasana on the right side. You can point, flex, circle out the left ankle. Anything that feels good to you on this side. You are more than welcome at any time to place your hands on the floor, arm blocks. Stay here. Hold it here. Keep breathing. Music sounds extra loud today. There we go. All right. Hold it inside lunge. With or without that block. All right. We're going to pivot. Cartwheel your hands down. Pivot your hips. Hips are in one line. Right foot is forward. Left foot is back. Keep your right hand on the floor. Reach your left arm high. Circle out your left wrist. I know it's funky. We normally do the opposite arm. You got this. Circle out your shoulder forwards and backwards. Hold it here. If you'd like, you can pivot onto your right hip. Reach your left fingertips towards your left toes. Come back through. Find your low lunge. Hands frame your right foot. Step your left foot to meet the right. Hold it here. Come back to your chair. Pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Let's move through that one more time. Reach your right arm back. And forward. Left arm sweeps back. And forward. Right arm. And left. This time, draw your left knee high as you sweep your left arm forward. Reaching up high. Flex your left toes. Bend your elbows. Cactus your arm, opening up your chest, opening up your left hip. Hold it for the exhale. Deep inhale, come back through center. Sweep the arms back. Step your left foot straight back. Coming into low crescent. Inhale, rise. Keep the hips square. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. Stack the shoulders over the hips. One more time. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. Pivot your left toes. Open up to warrior two. Hold it here. Find that deep bend in your right knee. Tee out your arms. Inhale, and coming into big star. Goddess. Flip your right toes. Bend your elbows. Bend your knees. Chest is lifted. Maybe sway side to side. Come back through center. Big star. Flip your right toes back to face the top of your mat. Bend into your right knee. As you come into reverse warrior, left leg remains straight. I know it's a mental focus there to bend into that right knee, but you're leaning your body back towards the left. All right, straighten that front right leg as you pivot, tick-tocking your hands down, right hand to a block or to your right leg, left arm high, square out your hips, triangle pose, actively stacking your left shoulder over the right. Maybe rotate that left shoulder further back, opening up your chest. Keep that right leg straight, rise up. Reverse your triangle, tuck your left hand behind your back or down your left leg. High five that wall behind you. You can flex your right toes if you'd like to release your right quad. Back to warrior two, bend into that right knee. Try to split your mat between your feet. Deep stance here. Coming back to big star. One more time on this side. From here, we're going to come into side lunge on the left side, almost to the right side. You can flex, point, or relax the right toes. You can bring your hands to the floor or to blocks. Hold it here for one more breath. Pivot, facing over your left leg. This time, keep your right hand to the inside of your left foot or on a block. Reach your left arm high. Circle out your left wrist. Circle out your shoulder forwards and backwards. Reaching up tall. You're welcome to hold it here if you want to extend. Drop that right hip. Reach your left hand to the inside of your right leg. Feel that stretch in your left hip. Pivot, coming back to low crescent, stacking your hips. We're going to step that right foot in to meet the left. Hip width apart and parallel, rise up. Finding your chair, pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Start on the left side, take your left arm back. Chest is lifted and forward. And forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sweep it forward. This time with the right hand, as you draw that right arm forward, sweep your right foot up. Find your balance, find your focus, relax your forehead, relax your shoulders from your ears. Open your chest, open your heart, cactus your elbows. Hold it for another breath. Keep your right toes flexed. On your next exhale, reach your arms overhead. Draw that right knee back in line with your hip. From here, we're going to hinge forward, sweeping our arms back. Step your right leg back. If you need to adjust your feet at any time, feel free to do so. Use your abs as you rise up. Core engagement and sweep. Deep exhale. Inhale to rise. Deep bend into that front left knee. One more time. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. Pivot your right toes. Open up. Tee out the arms. Warrior two. Left heel is in line with your right arch or your right heel. Actively drawing your feet further away, maybe bending deeper into that left knee. Yes, very nice. My AirPod wants to keep coming out. Inhale, lengthen, big star. Flip your left toes. Bring your hands to heart center. Goddess pose. Chest is lifted. Maybe sway side to side. All right, come back through center. Come back to big star. Flip your left toes back to the top of your mat. Bend into that left knee. You draw your body back to the right. Again, right hand can tuck behind you or down your right leg. High five that wall behind you. Hold it here for one more breath. We're going to straighten that front left leg as we come into triangle. Bump your hips back, tick-tock your arms forward. Reach your left arm down, right arm up. Open up your chest, open up your shoulders. If you want to challenge your balance, you can gaze up, You're also welcome to gaze forward or down to the floor, anything that works for you today. We're going to hold in triangle and we're going to reverse. Draw that right hand behind your back or down your right leg. High by that wall behind you. You want to release that left quad, flex your left toes. Coming into archer. Very nice. Now we're going to bend into that left knee again, tee out the arms. Find our warrior two, right where we started. Get nice and cozy. Come to your big star. Keep your left toes pointed forward. Bend into that right knee. Coming into Skadasana, side low lunge on the right side. Pulling here and breathing hands to heart center, hands to the floor. You can widen your stance, lessen your stance, anything that feels good to you in your body this morning. Pivot towards the top of your mat, facing your right foot. Place your left hand on the floor inside your right foot or on a block. Reach your right arm high. Circle out your right wrist. So now we're doing the opposite side. Last time we opened up the left side. Now we're opening up on the right side. Circle out your shoulder. Forwards and backwards. You are welcome to stay here. You want to open up that hip. Drop to the outer knife edge of your left foot. Drop your left hip down. Reach your right arm towards the inside of your left ankle. Come back through center. Pivot out. Pivot out your shoulders. From here, place both hands on the floor. Step your right leg back to meet the left, coming into down dog. Curl out your heels. That fun little flow always gets us nice and warm, a little sweat going maybe. Always good for full body. All right, let's slow it down now. Curl out those heels. Let your neck hang nice and long between your biceps. Maybe gazing to the tops of your thighs. Gently lower both your heels down to the floor. Lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Maybe lower your left heel, stretch the back side of your left leg. Right toes flexed. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip over your left. Point flex, circle out your right ankle. Maybe looking out under your left armpit. Come back, square out your hips. Take your right leg straight back. Pick it up, draw your knee in towards your right elbow. Release your left leg down. Maybe draw your left leg further back behind you. If you'd like to use blocks here, you can place a block under each hand. Gazing up, looking up, walking your hands to the center line of your body, or placing your hands on the floor. You can also place a block under your right hip. At any time, you're welcome to gently fold forward, coming into half pigeon. As that right knee is up towards the right corner of your mat, your left foot can be anywhere. It can be closer towards your left wrist. It can be closer towards your hips, or at any degree, anything that works for you. You're welcome to draw your forearms down to the floor or to blocks. Maybe rolling from side to side if that feels comfortable for you today. Drawing your right outer hip towards the floor. It does not have to make contact. And then gently drawing your left hip towards the floor. Again, does not have to make contact. Love to try to thread the needle from half pigeon. Keep your right hand on the floor. Lift your left arm high. Sweep your left arm under and through the right side body. Gently placing your left cheek or ear to the floor or to a block. You can reach your right arm out long. You can bind your right hand towards your left hip, opening up your right shoulder. Wherever you are, hold it there for one more breath. Gently walking your hands to the center line of your body, rocking to your outer right hip. Try to keep that left leg straight. Draw it in front. From here, so your left leg is straight, right knee stays bent. We're going to pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Set your left leg down. Sweep your arms up high overhead. Draw your left hand to the inside of your left leg. Sweep your right arm high. Side bend over to the left side. Gently rise up. Release your right hand behind your right hip. I hope I have room here. Press your hips up. Right knee stays bent. Left leg is long. Reach your left arm up and back to the diagonal. Really press your hips forward. Coming into Stargazer. Slowly and gently release your hips down. Release your arm down. Coming back, folding forward. Drawing that left leg back. Tucking your toes. Placing your hands down. Tuck your left toes. Lift your right leg high, 3-legged dog. And then gently lowering your right leg. Pedal out your heels again. We're going to repeat the same thing on the left side. Lift your left leg high, 3-legged dog. You'd like a deeper stretch in the back side of your right leg. Gently lower your right heel to the floor as you keep your left leg high. Flex your left leg. Left leg is straight. Square out your hips. Drop your head between your biceps. Pressing into your finger pads. Gently bend your left knee, stacking your hips, opening up your left hip on this side. Maybe gazing under your right armpit to see your left toes. You can point, flex, circle out your left ankle. Gently square out your hips, take your left leg straight back. Flex your left leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw your left knee to your left wrist. Release your foot down. You can tuck your right toes, pulling your right leg further back if you like, or keep it just where you're at. Using blocks or just walking your hands to center line. Inhale, lengthen, deep back bend. You can also place a block underneath your left hip here, if you'd like, to help level out the hips. At any time when you're ready, you're welcome to walk your hands forward, drawing your forearms down to the floor or to blocks. Finding what feels good to you today on this side. Taking note, how does this side feel from the left side? What sensations are you feeling? Maybe gently rocking from one side to the next on that left hip, drawing the left hip down towards the floor. And then rocking your right hip down to the floor. It's not required to make contact with your hip and the floor, just moving in that direction. If you'd like to try thread the needle on this side, you can reach your right arm high. Draw your right hand under and through the left side body, gently placing your right ear or cheek onto the floor. You can extend that left arm long. You can also bind your left hand around your back towards your right hip, allowing to open up your shoulder. Holding and breathing. Wherever you're at, hold it for one more breath. And then gently bring your hands in towards the floor. Gently rise up, walking your hands to the center of your body. Rock onto your left hip. From here, trying to keep that right leg straight. It's okay for the bend in it. Draw that right leg around in front. Sole of your left foot touching your right thigh. Hands to center, or you can place your hands behind your back. We're going to pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Gently release that right leg down. Hinge upright. Keep your arms up high overhead. Release your right hand to the inside of your right leg. Sweep your left arm high. Deep side bend over to the right. Just gently gazing out under your left thigh. Hold it for the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Release your left hand behind your hip, keeping your left knee bent, right leg is straight. Press your hips forward, coming to stargazer on the right side. Reach your right arm long. Press your hips forward as you slowly exhale. Release your hips and your hand down towards the floor. Place your hands back onto the floor. Sweep your right leg back. Tuck your right toes. Lift your left leg and lower it down to the floor, coming back to down dog. Curl out your heels. Gently releasing your knees to the floor. Coming to your left or right hip. Let's do a little bit of core work just to close out before we do our final stretches. Go ahead and grab a block. With your feet hip width apart and parallel, feet are flat on the floor. You can also hover your shins. Reach your arms out in front. We're going to slowly roll back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you release the last vertebrae, reach your arms overhead, tap the block. Draw your block back overhead, over your shoulders. Roll up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach your arms overhead. Reach your arms forward. This time roll back for 10, 9, 8, 7. Use those lower abs as you roll back. That's it. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way down. Tap the block overhead. Yes, we're going to roll one more time. Use the upper abs as you roll up. Draw your navel deep in your spine. Block stacks over your shoulders. Roll up for 10, 9, 8, 7. Think the slower, the better. That's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, from here, we're going to extend our arms and legs long in opposite directions with that block in our hands. So extend, crunch everything in, suitcase crunch, extend, draw it in. That's it. 3 more. Extend, draw it in. Try to keep your legs and your arms hovering, maybe your shoulders as well. 2 more. Last one. All right, hold it upright with your feet parallel or flat on the floor. Side tap to the left, come back to the center, over to the right, over to the left, back to the right. 3 more on each side. Side tap and right. 2 more. Left and right. 1 more time each side. Then we're going to roll back. Final time. All right, plant your feet down. Roll back, slow and controlled on your own count. Super slow. Think 1 vertebrae at a time. Release your head down to the floor. With your knees bent, draw your feet close in toward your body. Place that block between your knees. Bring your hands to the floor, palms facing down. We're going to do a glute bridge. Lift your hips high. Deep back bend here. Shoulders lifted. You are welcome to walk your hands in, maybe clasping your hands, and then walk your shoulders in, lifting your hips even higher. If you'd like to come into wheel, place your hands by your ears, fingertips facing towards your toes, and then press your hips up. You're welcome to stay in bridge or come into wheel. You're at, hold it for 1 more breath. Lift an inch or 2 higher. Tuck your chin to your chest, coming down if you're in wheel or bridge. Gently rolling down, keeping your chin tucked in. Gently grab that block between your thighs. Lift your hips up. Place the block on its lowest setting under your hips. And just letting your hips come onto that block. Letting your hips fall, opening up your hips. Seeing how this feels with your knees bent. If you'd like, you can play by extending your right leg, maybe extending your left leg, seeing how that feels with your hips, maybe extending both legs long. Noticing what feels different if you're extending your legs versus keeping your legs bent. Maybe just keeping your knees bent the whole time, seeing how that feels as time passes. With each breath, relaxing further into that block, regardless of where your foot placement is. One more breath here. If you have one or both legs extended, go ahead and draw them back in towards the block. With that block still into your hips, reach your left leg high to the ceiling. Reach your right leg high to the ceiling. You're welcome to stay here, point, flex, circle out your ankles. If you'd like, you can also reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Everything moving all class. Point, flex, maybe circle out your wrists, your ankles. And then gently bending one knee or both at the same time as you lower your feet down to the floor, closing towards the block. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Release that block off to the side. From here, extend your legs long. Extend your arms overhead, tiny arch in your back. Feel that stretch. And full exhale. Starting to the left side, walk your feet all the way over the left side of your mat, maybe off your mat. From here, cross your right ankle over your left. Bend your upper body over to the left side. Your left wrist grabs your right, and deep side bend over to the left side. Very similar to the stretch that we did in our side bend in the beginning of class. Except this time we're using the floor as a splint, trying to make a banana shape with your body over to the left side. Hold it here for one more breath. Trying to keep both hips and both shoulders in towards the floor. Release your grip, release your foot bend. Walk your feet back through center, walk your hands through center. This time walk your feet over to the right side, maybe off your mat. Cross your left ankle over your right. Draw your upper body over to the right side. Right hand grabs left wrist. Deep side bend over to the left side, trying to make your body into a crescent moon shape by keeping both shoulders, both hips grounded into the floor. And just close your eyes or gaze up towards the ceiling, enjoying this deep stretch all along the left side body. Hold it for the exhale. Coming back through center, release your bind with your hands and your feet. Draw your knees in toward your chest, curl yourself into a tiny ball, chin to chest. You can grab your shins, you can grab the back side of your thighs, maybe rolling side to side. With your knees still in towards your chest, gently release your head back to the floor. Draw the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Maintain that connection of the back side of your thighs, or you can grab the outside knife edge of your foot. You're also welcome to use a strap here as well. Coming into happy baby and just rocking side to side. From here, come back through center. Keeping your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Extend your left leg long. Single leg happy baby. Maybe your left leg just hovers like mine is. Maybe it taps the floor gently. Maybe over time your left leg will lower towards the floor as we hold it in a stretch. From here, draw the sole of your foot in towards your right hip. So coming into when removing pose, drawing your right knee in towards your right shoulder, flexing your left toes. You point, flex, circle out your right ankle. With your left hand, gently grab the outside of your right knee, gently pulling your right knee across the left side of your body. Gazing over your right shoulder. You can deepen that stretch by keeping your right shoulder in towards the floor, sending your right arm long out to a broken T. You can also bend your right elbow, palm facing up, half cactus. Your gaze can be over towards the right or up towards the ceiling. Hold it here for one more breath. Then coming back to center, draw that right knee back in towards your right shoulder, avoiding your rib cage. Drawing a few circles here with your right knee, and then switching sides. Draw both knees back in toward your chest, curl yourself into a tiny ball, grabbing your shins or your hamstrings. Hold that connection with your legs, gently releasing your head back onto the floor, soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, coming into happy baby. Maybe grabbing the back side of your thighs, maybe the outer edges of your feet. You can roll side to side. Come here, Lola. I don't know how my dog always knows like a few minutes left of class, but she does. All right, keeping that left knee in towards your left shoulder, avoiding that rib cage. Gently release your right leg, send your right leg long. Maybe your right leg is hovering. Try to keep your right leg straight, flexing your right toes. Maybe as you hold these breaths, your right leg will gently lower down towards the floor. It is okay if it does not. From here, gently bending deeper into your left knee, drawing your left heel in towards your left glute, coming into wind removing pose on the left side. Flex your right toes, press your right calf in towards the floor. Point flex, circle out your left ankle. Gently grabbing your outside of your left knee with your right hand and slowly pulling across the right side of your body. Supine twist on the left side. You're welcome to look over your left shoulder. Maybe extend your left arm. You can bend your left elbow by drawing it into a half cactus. Gaze can be center or over your left shoulder. Whatever feels good to you today could very well be different than the right side. Hold it for the exhale. Come back through center. Tuck that left knee in towards your left shoulder, avoiding the rib cage. Draw a few circles here with your left knee. And then reverse that direction. Draw both knees in towards your chest. Pull yourself into a tiny ball. One last time. Extend your legs long. Heels in. Toes fall open. Hands by your side. Palms facing up. To receive. Pinkies in. Thumbs out. Or any final resting pose for you. Squeeze your toes, your calves, your glutes, your thighs. Squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, clench your fists, and then relax everything, letting everything go. Is it better sing a song for Savasana? Starting to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Belly rise, belly falls. Coming back to your breath. Draw your knees into your chest and gently roll to the left or right side. And then pressing yourself up, coming to a seated position of your choice. Reach your arms up high overhead. Bringing your hands to heart center. Maybe bringing your index fingers to your third eye. Thank you so very much for sharing your practice with me each and every day. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week, and your weekend. Namaste.